Working Title is the name of a brand new independent film produced on PEI. It was the brainchild of 20-year-old Charlie Steele of Summerside. And with the help of some great contacts, he put together a talented island cast and crew, including Jacob Hemphill of Brookfield. Jacob is currently studying theater and opera at Dalhousie. The film just premiered at a special showing in Summerside and is about to hit YouTube. To find out more, we invited Jacob Hemphill into our studio and reached Charlie Steele on the phone, who's in Toronto this week. Hi, Charlie, and welcome, Jacob.
Hi, how are you doing today, Angela?
Hi.
Charlie, can you tell us how this project started?
I started writing this almost a full year ago now. What had happened was I didn't get accepted to film school, so I was really nervous, and I was unsure what I was going to do with my year, and kind of my answer to that was well, if I didn't get accepted to film school, if I'm going to keep up, I better start writing a project right now. So the answer to that was that's kind of where I started from. I was okay, how am I going to make this film? And then I just kind of went through all right, who do I know? What kind of resources do I have? And I kind of made this list of names and little ideas that I had, and then I kind of wrote the story around that, with what resources I knew I'd have access to.
Have you always been interested in making films?
Yeah, I'm more so into the writing side of it, but I kind of fell in love with films probably when I was 13 or 14, kind of that prime age where you're really finding yourself, and you're never more obsessed with something than when you're 14 and you're obsessed with something. And so I kind of fell into it there. I was just one of those kids, someone told me when I was in first grade or something, oh, Charlie's a really good writer. So then I was just oh, is that what I'm good at? And then I just stuck with that. And yeah, so I've been interested for quite a while.
Now, you've hooked up with Jacob in terms of having him be one of the actors in the film. Mm-hmm. What was it about Jacob that you thought, what about his talents? What did you like about him?
Well, we had met through a mutual friend a few years before, and we'd kind of always known each other on and off, and I was always seeing him in little sketches and stuff we never worked together, but we kind of always were looking at each other's work. And just from the few times that I met him, he was always really fun. And I knew he was someone who, especially just because I knew he does a lot of theater around PEI, and he's always kind of got a project on the go. So I knew he would be someone that I wouldn't have trouble motivating or being dedicated to the work.
When Charlie called me, I was a little shocked and taken aback that he even was interested in me and told me I was his first choice. I was thinking, well, he's only seen me in dinner theaters and some small productions, so for him to put me on screen is a big deal. And so immediately I said yes, and I looked at my schedule and did everything I could to be flexible for not only my work and the show I was doing at the time, but as well for Charlie, so I could be dedicated to the show and to the film that we created, Working Title. He calls it an independent film project, and it's actually my first one, just like he says it's his first one. So it was great for us to sort of experiment and have our first successful test of a film in the industry. Charlie,
what's the plot?
These two friends, Carl and Major, it's very autobiographical. They have a budget of $5,000, which Carl begged his father to give him, and they have a summer to finish the movie. And Carl is this kind of person who's kind of born out of this generation of everyone's telling you, follow your dreams and do what you want, and you can do anything. And he's an extreme example of that. But he's this kind of delusional character who just believes in himself so much, but he kind of doesn't back it up all the time, and he's always kind of going from one idea to the next and never really following through or finishing anything. And yeah, so it's these two friends who try to make a movie over the summer, and the movie is it's a mockumentary, and it's there behind the scenes of trying to get this film made.
Jacob brought in the DVD, and on the front you've got Working Title, and then on the top, Participation Award, Charlie's Mom's Official Selection, and Smallest Budget 2017.
All true.
That is all true. And you'll find a lot of stuff in the film is kind of self-deprecating like that, just because that's just my personality to be so, especially with my first project.
What were the challenges with it?
The biggest challenge was definitely organizing people and scheduling and that kind of stuff. We got really lucky as far as equipment and flexibility that way. My kind of cameraman, director, photography sort of guy, I called him out of the blue, and he was also someone sort of like Jacob that I just sort of knew a little bit on and off, and it just so happened that he had all this really great equipment to use, and he kind of was responsible for kind of the great look of the film, and he knew a bit about lighting and that kind of thing. But yeah, definitely the biggest challenge was organizing people. A lot of compromises and changes to the script kind of had to be made just based off people's availability, and kind of every single day had to count for a lot of stuff if it was going to get done in the time limit we needed it to get done. And especially, when you can't afford to pay anyone and that stuff, you're really relying on just like the good nature of people to give their best work, and keeping people motivated and feeding them and trying to keep the environment on set.
Now, Jacob, you had the premiere. Tell us about that event and what it was like to actually see this on the screen.
Well, it premiered on December 22nd at the Silver Fox Curling Club in Summerside, which was a hoot for everybody. We had a 50-seat room. So I was shocked, and I'm still shocked, that the movie is out, and it's going to be coming out on YouTube on January 1st as well. So not only did I get a chance to see it with a few family and friends, but now the whole world is going to get to see it at any opportunity they want.
What was it like for you, though, to see yourself on the big screen?
It feels like I accomplished something after a long time. I've always wanted to be in theater and work as a performer. I got the storytelling bug from my dad, who is Dennis King, works as one of the foretellers and does multiple gigs around performing. And so ever since, I've wanted to sort of make him proud and make my family proud and show them some proof of what I can do and how I can work towards something in this industry.
For me, it was insane because I had been with the script and the movie for so long, and I had been stressed out about it for so long that so much of it was kind of, so I was so sick of it, and it was all, everything felt like flat to me, and I was like, oh, this is no good, this is this, just because I had been over these lines and these jokes and stuff over and over and over. So, but the second the screening started and I saw people watching it for the first time with fresh eyes, it breathed a whole new life back in the movie. Like, the movie was so did for me, and all of a sudden it became its own thing, and it was odd because for the first time it felt kind of separated from me. Like, I was like, oh, I made this, like, oh, and it was so surprising, like, seeing jokes that I didn't even kind of notice before, and like people's reactions that I didn't expect at all at certain parts. And that was the funnest part. So
it's going to be on YouTube, but what's your hope for this ultimately?
Well, the reason we're going to YouTube right away, it'll be out January 1st. I think we're releasing it just at 12 a.m. and that way it will be the greatest film of 2017 for a day or two anyway.
Well, best of luck to you both, and I look forward to seeing it on YouTube. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That'll be on youtube.com/burningnerds January 1st.
Thank you very much, Angela.
Charlie Steele is the writer and director of Working Title, and Jacob Hemphill is the co-lead.